Cosmetics. There's been a lot of talk around cosmetics in gaming recently, specifically around two games, Counter-Strike and Battlefield 6. We won't be talking about Counter-Strike in this video. In case you've been living under a rock, Battlefield 6 has recently had a bit of a controversy happen, primarily surrounding cosmetics that have appeared in the store and on the Season Pass that players have not been really pleased about. So, for this video, I wanted to take a break from Marvel Rivals content, which will be coming back, don't worry, to talk about cosmetics and their place in gaming. So, for starters, what makes a cosmetic? Cosmetics, or skins as they're colloquially called, are items that can be either purchased or earned in the video game space. These can change the outfit that the player character has on or modify the look of weapons or items. Cosmetics can vary in rarity and complexity, which typically work in parallel with each other. The more rare a skin is, the more complex or unique it can be. So what does this have to do with Battlefield 6, you may ask? Well, simply put, the community wants to keep the game's cosmetic system grounded in its setting. Recently, Battle Pass skins for the upcoming Battlefield 6 Battle Pass, try saying that 5 times fast, have caused a mini uproar in the Battlefield community, as the skins are too colorful or in some way break the grounding of Battlefield 6 as a realistic shooter. The main skins people seem to be having a problem with are Wicked Grin, Blooded, Fearmonger, Health is Wealth, Limited Hangout, Samhain, and System Override. From the looks of them, these skins are brightly colored or just kinda cringe. Skull masks are so public invaded annex servers on Arma 3, and the community has pointed that out. In fact, the community's reaction has been so emphatically against this that some people have taken to making artist renditions of their own versions of cosmetics. These have received a positive reaction from the community, with people saying that they would buy those types of skins. But why is this a problem? While thinking about this script, I thought up a simple rule of thumb when it comes to skins and cosmetics in games. Skins shouldn't compromise the integrity of a game's setting. I actually have 3 examples of this. One that's good, one that's kind of, and one that is the most obvious worst case scenario. A good example of a game where the skins don't compromise the integrity of a game's setting is Marvel Rivals. Since it is a game that takes place in a Marvel multiverse, there are a ton of alternate designs that can be drawn on for character skins. And of course, it is a hyper-stylized world, so the cosmetics can be brightly colored and project unique effects with no issues. At this point in the game's life, the cosmetics have not really been towing that compromising the game's setting line, although they have been towing some other lines. Looking at you, Swimsuit Collection. And this is what I'm talking about with a skin not compromising the setting's integrity. The cosmetics all stay within the realm of the setting without taking too many creative liberties, but still maintaining the general atmosphere and setting of the game itself. A game that kind of plays loose with this rule and kind of goes in the category of how well it does this would be a game like Fortnite, as an example. But Thech, why Fortnite if Marvel Rivals good? Well, obviously, dear viewer, it is because my social credit is through the roof, and I am a good game ambassador of the great country of China. Fortnite sits in the category for me because at this point, the only thing I hear about in this game is the cosmetics and the collabs. For some people, the collabs have kind of destroyed the setting of the game. Or have they? Unlike in other cases, like the one we're going to get to in a second here, the collabs in Fortnite will sometimes bring in new game modes, new play styles, new weapons that fit with the collab's theme. So it doesn't necessarily destroy the setting as more as add to it for a little bit before it is taken out in a later patch. So again, it's only And also, because the game sits in a pseudo-multiverse style space like Marvel Rivals, it does have a lot more leeway in terms of what it can get away with cosmetically. The more egregious thing, though, in my opinion, is sort of the clashing art styles, because you have the normal sort of Fortnite original art style that blockier 3D art style, and then you have also the cell shading. So you have these two different art styles that are kind of competing and clashing with each other. But beyond that, again, it just sort of, the game is more about the cosmetics and the collabs at this point than the actual game itself. So while it isn't ruining the setting with all these cosmetics, it just sort of sits in that weird middle ground space within my own rule. A good example of terrible cosmetic usage has to be Call of Duty. Allow me to present you with an example. Stan Smith calls upon Beavis and Butthead to crotch kick Nicki Minaj while getting shot at by Donatello of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles with an AK-47 made out of Legos that shoots bullets that look like laser beams. Did you really think I was going to have a cosmetics conversation without talking about the internet's favorite dead horse? Modern Call of Duty games are the poster child of bad cosmetic usage in the terms that I set out earlier in the video with the rule. Call of Duty markets itself as a realistic and gritty shooter, but the cosmetics are anything but that. Think about it. The same franchise that brought us the No Russian Mission is the exact same franchise that now has characters from Seth MacFarlane shows as cosmetics. The same game that brought us Black Ops 2, the same franchise that has some of the strongest and most, gritty and realistic action in the games industry, now has Beavis and Butthead, now has Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, now has a character that looks like a nugget of marijuana. Like, it's insane to think about this. The tone and use of different collabs and stylistic choices are clashing heavily with the supposed idea and content and setting of the Call of Duty franchise. Which brings us back full circle to Battlefield 6. A lot of the Battlefield 6 player base views the current state of the Call of Duty franchise as an omen of what could happen to Battlefield 6, and quite obviously, they don't want that happening to their beloved franchise. Do the skins that I showed earlier do that? In all honesty, no, not really. They're brightly colored, but they still fit within the mil-sim style and visual aesthetics of the game. However, it is a slippery slope. What the community has said with this reaction is that they will have a zero-tolerance policy for those types of skins. And in my opinion, they're right. Having looked over the skins already in the game, they are varied and unique between each group, whether they are in NATO or Pax Armada, all while still maintaining that integrity of the game's setting as a realistic shooter. Heck, barely any of the skins lack proper head protection. So just because the player base doesn't want brightly colored skins won't stifle the creativity of the designers to stick into this area, to stick in this milsim, and fit with the general aesthetic that they've already created with the game. Thank you all so much for watching. I'm trying out some new varied content, so let me know down in the comment section whether you want me to do more than just Marvel Rivals stuff, or if you want me to just sort of stick in that lane. Like and subscribe, hit the notification bell if you haven't. And of course, every subscription, every like allows me to be able to feed my editor. Thank you all so very much for watching, and I will see you guys in the future. Or maybe in the past. I am not attached by time.